Happy 4th of July, everyone. This is Mini Golf Frank. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of my local miniature golf course called Hole-in-One Family Fun here in Lafayette, Indiana. I've done several live streams of this course, but never an actual introductory video on how to play it. So today I'm going to take you on a little walkthrough. So here we are in Hole 1, a lengthy starter hole with two pesky rocks. This is a par 2. It's a good opening hole. It's one that you can make. This hole plays very, very fast. Slightly downhill. The hole breaks from right to left in the beginning, and then it flattens out and actually goes back slightly left to right. So, two different teeing positions here. So what I'm going to do on each hole. The gold ball on the left is half of a putter off of the bricks on the left and one putter back, so you don't clip the bricks. Both of these shots I'm aiming at the same place, which is at the left edge of the big rock in front of you. Okay, so if we get directly behind it, it's kind of in between the pin and the rock is the aiming point. The blue ball is 1 foot, 1 shoe from the right side, aiming at the same place, pretty much at the left edge of the rock out there. And I'm going to demonstrate both shots for you. Okay, so here we are on hole number 1. I'm going to leave the flags in demonstration purposes. Both shots you're basically aiming in this area on this rock. So I wanted to show a little walkthrough of the course that I play when I do my practice. I said I've done some live streaming. I've never actually done a video. Now they have these black mats out here for the casual players if you want to set your ball on it, but you don't have to. We're going to do a little bit of a video on as far as maybe even some putting instructions and some things that I go through when I work on shots and work on practice myself. And one of the things that I see a lot of players that come out here, they don't really have a place to aim at. Newer players, they don't have really a specific spot to roll the ball over or a specific place that they're actually aiming. They just kind of take a guess. So today is going to be a little bit more in depth on exactly where I'm aiming, exactly what I'm hoping where the ball rolls over. Now, as far as a score on this course, a 36 is a very, very good score. My personal best on this course is a 31. That was quite a miraculous round, but anything between a 34 and a 37 is generally a really good score out here on this course. So we're going to go from left to right. So we're going to go with the gold ball first. So the gold ball is, I'm actually standing in the rocks, okay? And the whole point of this shot is to try to get the ball rolling right in this area right here. The ball's going to come down, it's going to make a little bit of a left-hand turn, and then you're going to watch the ball kind of snake its way down here like this. And that's the goal of the shot. Now, another thing to keep in mind on this hole is that the carpet doesn't play as smoothly as carpet that you would find in European courses or in putt-putt courses. So it's very frustrating sometimes when you're hitting a shot and it looks like it's going to go in the hole and somehow the carpet just pulls it one way or the other and it misses. So keep that in mind. That's one of the reasons why these courses just don't play that great. Okay, so I'm a half of a putter off of the bricks on the left, just enough clearance so that when I swing, my putter doesn't hit the bricks. And I'm aiming at the left edge of that rock. And you just want to get this ball started. Just want to get it started. It's going to go back to the left, to the right, and you can see how that ball wants to snake around, and that's part of the carpet. And then here on the blue ball, so I'm 1 shoe off the right, I'm going to aim at the left edge of the rock again. So there's 2 examples of the shot of how you can play hole 1. And then the putts from back here. Not too bad, pretty much straight in. And that's how you play hole number 1 here at Hole-in-One Family Fun in Lafayette, Indiana. Okay, here we are on lane 2. Easy does it. Too much power left. Could land the ball in the water. And here we have it. All right, so there's a couple key features on this hole that I'm going to explain. Okay, so part of this course is surviving the first 7 holes. This is your very first real test right away. Okay, so this hole breaks from left to right. However, there's a little valley down here where this blue ball is at. I have this situated so that you can see here that it's kind of in line with the pin, all right? Now, if your ball continues on this little path, it'll go up towards the hole. You can see how that ball starts to turn to the left. Okay, there's a ridge here, and there's a ridge here. It's a very, very small channel. Okay, now from the same position, if you were to hit this one a little bit too softly, it goes down into the valley. Okay, so that is one of the key features of this hole, is it's slightly uphill until you get to the end of the valley, which is about right here. And then it flattens out. It's a very, very delicate shot, very, very speed sensitive. And as I demonstrated over here, there's a little bit of a shadow. It's early in the morning. In this area right here, the ball will actually go to the left. The very, very small channel that you need to hit in order to get the ball close to the hole and or have a chance to make an ace. The tee position here is from the left side. It's about 1 foot, 1 shoe, and 1 putter from the left bricks. Now you're aiming, the shot is going to come very close to the bricks over in this area. You're going to use that because that pushes the ball back to the right and helps it go up the slope and have a chance to get up the slope and get close to the hole. It's all about your speed on this one. Okay, so here we are from behind the hole. It's all about the speed. If the ball is too soft, it's going to come back into this funnel and come back down the hill and come back down here. I'm actually going to show you how you can have a chance to make a par putt from down in this area as well. So I'm going to hit 2 balls. So this is about a shoe and a putter width from the left side. And I'm trying to roll the ball really close to these rocks. And you're going to watch the ball move from left to right, right to left on your angle. And it's all about the pace. All about the pace. So that was a little bit too fast. And you can see how that ball just continues to drift on, and that one went a little bit into the rough. I hit that one just a little bit too fast. I hit that one also a little bit too fast. Oh, a little bit closer, but you can see how that ball moves off to the right. And both of those were just a little bit too fast. Now the putts from back here, you really want to try to get the ball as close as you can. Putts from back here, quite notoriously difficult as this carpet doesn't play that great. But if you miss one and it ends up down here, usually the ball would end up kind of curling around like this. We'll drop a couple balls down there if you were to hit one a little bit soft. And usually the balls end up around this area. Okay, so you're going to want to aim out here to the left. It's quite difficult to make this, but it's possible. You see how that ball just snaps off to the right. When you get down here, you just want to try to make a 3 and move on. Ah, I was so close. But that's the gist of how you play lane 2. You just want to try to make a 2, get the ball really close to the hole. I'll try to hit a couple better ones this time. This is a very, very speed sensitive shot. And you're tested right away on this course. So as I described earlier, you just want to try to survive the first 7 holes. See if I can hit a little bit better one. That one hit the rock. But you can see what happens if you get down in there. I'm still hitting them a little bit too fast. All right, so here we are in lane 2. We're 1 shoe and about a putter, half a putter or so from the left bricks. And this one's all about your speed. I'm aiming pretty close to the rocks, half a putter away from the rocks. It's going to send the ball back to the right and hopefully track towards the hole. It's all about the speed. All about the speed. That's a really good putt. That's also a really good putt. Come on, buddy. Ah, so those are 2 good shots. So now I'm going to demonstrate what happens if you hit one a little bit too hard. So these are very, very good shots. You're going to make a 2 from there. I'm going to hit one a little bit too hard, and I'll hit one a little bit too soft. And this is why this hole is dangerous. So you're teeing up from the same spot. So this one I'm going to hit too hard. Just a little bit too hard. Down just a little bit too hard. Well, you can see how that ball starts to run out. That was actually still a really good shot. Now, if you push one a little bit and you don't hit that and you hit a little bit too soft, that's what ends up happening. So if you push it a little bit to the right, you end up down here. I call this the Valley of Doom. Very difficult to make a par from here. You actually have to end up aiming way farther left from the hole and try to hit it. This is going to be a miraculous shot to even get it close. See how that ball just slings up that slope. And then from there, you just want to try to make a 3 and move on. So you can see, and then if I lipped out, that one almost went back down the hill. Try a little bit more of a demonstration on if you hit one that's a little bit too hard. There's going to be some holes here I'm going to be focusing on because of how dangerous it is. You hit one a little bit too firm, and it's going to go all the way back there in the rough. If you miss the ridge, if you don't get it too far enough left, well, I'm all over it today. So it's that muscle memory. But anyways, what can happen is your ball, if you don't get it far enough to the right, if it's coming up the slope here and it doesn't get far enough to the right, it'll take off left like that. There's a ridge right here. If you're on one side of the ridge, it'll take it towards the hole. You get on the other side of the ridge and it actually takes it to the left. So that is the gist of how to play hole number 2 here at Hole in One Family Fun in Lafayette, Indiana. Moving on to hole number 3. Here we are on hole number 3, a slight dog leg left with a little bit of hazard everywhere. Very, very fitting description. Teeing areas here. First thing you notice out there is a grassy bunker hazard, and then this giant pool of water. All right, this hole is very, very challenging to get the ball close. Hole 2 is all about speed. Hole 3 is all about trying to figure out a way to get the ball close. So if you notice this grassy bunker area here, I'm going to roll a ball out there so you can see how that takes off to the left. That's the key to the shot, is using that slope to hit the bricks behind it, kind of like this, getting the ball to come off the rough and go towards the hole. That's the key to how to play lane number 3 here at Hole in One Family Fun. Now I'm going to try to demonstrate the shot. Okay, so I had done a video on this hole where in a live stream, I actually made this hole 2 times in a row. But this hole is generally not one that you're actually trying to make. I have finally figured out a way to get it close and a majority of the time, but there's still some risk involved. Now the teeing position is all the way to the right, as far right as you can without your putter hitting the bricks. Now the key to the shot is when the ball comes down the fairway, it wants to break to the right, go in towards the bunker. It's very counterintuitive to what it should do, but it wants to go to the right. The ball's going to come up this slope. It's going to catch this slope and hopefully hit this area in the bricks. And with the right speed, it will kick it down towards the hole. And sometimes it can go in. You're just trying to get it close. So hole 1, you have a decent chance to make. 2 and 3, you just want to try to survive them. So I'm aiming at the base of the hill. And that's kind of how you want to play it. I didn't catch enough of the hill to send the ball farther to the left. If you get a little bit more of the hill, it will send the ball farther to the left. And that's what can happen, is these bricks, they have, gaps in between them, and sometimes your ball is going to hit the gap, and you're going to have, these interesting par putts. Unfortunately, with this hole, there's no way for you to, that was a good try. There's no way for you to avoid hitting the bricks and getting the ball close. So we're going to try one more time. I'll try to demonstrate a shot where I try to hit one perfect speed for you so you can see that it just doesn't work just trying to use the hill and not using the bricks in the background. It just doesn't, it won't allow you to do it. There's just no way for you, even if you try to come all the way up here, you're risking everything, even to try to get the ball that high up on the hill. It still just doesn't have enough speed. The hill's not high enough. You're risking everything trying to come up this height of this hill. You can see it just doesn't, it's not steep enough. It doesn't push the ball far enough to the right. And because the green goes away from the pin, it doesn't work. It's a design flaw from Harris Corporation. So we're going to try a couple more shots here so you can see what happens if I hit if you hit a good one, you actually have somewhat of a chance. That one's still a little bit too soft. I caught the crack again. But sometimes you can get unlucky and you can get that. There you go, there's one that's a little bit better. You can see how that ball kicks off the bricks and it goes towards the hole. But that's the gist of how you should play hole number 3 here at Hole in One Family Fun in Lafayette, Indiana. Here we are on hole number 4, a long, narrow hole with rough and rocks on left and right. All right, so the key on this one is there are 2 little rises here. The first one is right there, and then there's a bunker on the left, and then there's another little rise, and then there's a bunker on the right, and the hole sits right in the center of the area in the back. It's very, very hard to get the right kind of camera angle on this one, so I'm just going to show you from the back, from behind me. And we'll just keep it live and just demonstrate the shot. All right. So on this one, this one's also all about the speed. As long as you have good speed on this hole, you generally have a good result. It is possible to ace it, but generally just trying to make a 2 and move on. Today I have face wind. But basically you're starting the ball about 1 putter from the right. And then I'm actually aiming out here. It's going to push the ball to the left. You have to trust the shot. When the ball rolls up the slope, it should be about equal with the left edge of the hole. And then with the right speed, it will push it back to the right. Left edge of the hole, push it back to the right, and that's a dead center ace. All right, so 1 putter from the right, aiming about 1 putter from the bricks. was a little bit too soft. Get up the hill. Ah! That one just didn't have quite enough speed. Here's where we ended up. First one was straight in the middle. And the second one's there. Now these putts from here, from this brow, if you watch closely, when the ball rides up this slope, you can see how it wants to go a little bit. This will push it to the left. And the putts from here aren't too bad. Generally, these are pretty straight. Just like that. And that's how you play lane number 4 here at Hole in One Family Fun. All right, here we are, hole number 5. Watch out for the water on the left. Good luck. The water on the left is the least of your worries. I used to hate this hole, but the more that I played it, the more that I've come to actually enjoy it. So the hole location is actually way over there. As you can see from the description here, that's a very good, accurate description of how the lane plays. First, we go up the hill, and the ball starts to break to the right. Okay, then we go back down the hill around these rocks. A successful shot is going to challenge the border here. It's going to come through here. Okay, then there's another slope down here to finish the shot. So if I roll the ball out there, right? So this is what a good shot could look like. And the ball ends up rolling out there. The ball's not really going to be going that fast. It'd probably be more like this. But that's the finishing of the shot. If you hit a great shot, that's what it should look like at the end. I'm going to do a little bit more in depth on this one. This one's going to take a little bit longer. Okay, so if you go a little bit too firm up the hill, you can go right into the water. All right, so the key here is not really getting any higher than about this area right there. The ball's going to come very, very close to the rocks, and then it's going to just kind of turn, just barely missing the ear, catching that slope, and then finishing out going down towards the hole that way. It's awkward to get the right camera angle, so we're going to try to do the best we can to capture the entirety of the hole. So I'm actually standing on lane 13. So let's try to get as much as we can so you can see. There we are. And I'm going to demonstrate the shot for you. Okay, so if you notice, I placed a very large rock out here. If my ball hits this rock, it's too hard. If the ball's too hard coming up here, whoops. If the ball's going too fast, like this, well, that's actually perfect. That might go in. That's like literally 1 inch from the hole, right? So that's the speed you want. So you do not want to go past that rock. That one's a little bit too slow. It's still going to get up and around the curve. That's the goal of the shot here, is just to get the ball up and around the curve so you have a chance to get the ball close. So I'm going to show you a couple different things on this one and why it's so dangerous. And making a 2 on this hole is a fantastic score. I have aced it, I believe, only maybe once or twice ever in a little over 3 years of playing this course. But I just kind of want to demonstrate and have that rock out there so you can see if you go any farther past that rock, it's too fast. So you're teeing it up from the right side as far as you can without your putter hitting the bricks. Now the aim point is, I might as well put the brick in the line where the aim point is. The aim is actually out here by this brick line. That's where the aim is. You want the ball to enter up here, go no farther past this brick. It's going to take the right-hand turn and shoot down there. I used to not like this hole at all until I finally figured out how to play it. Now I think it's a great hole because it's all about the skill. So no closer to the brick. I could have hit that one a little bit harder. That one's gonna roll out, and I'm gonna have 3 feet or so for my par. That was a good shot. A little farther left, get a little bit more speed on it. Up the slope. And that one's even closer. All right, just for context purposes, so you can see, those are 2 really good shots on this hole. So we'll keep it live, and then we'll come right back and I'll show you the dangers. So these 2 shots here, excellent shots. This ball's literally not even a foot away. So both of those are excellent shots. That's exactly what you want to try to do. But today it's a little warmer outside and there's no wind. So getting it closer is a little bit easier. But when the wind's pushing, it can be quite challenging. I'm going to show you a couple things here actually. If you hit a ball a little bit too fast and a little bit too slow, some of the real dangers. So we're not going to show you the hole because the ball's never going to make it to the hole if I hit one too fast or too slow. What I want you to focus on is what happens when the ball what happens when the ball hits the bricks over here. It always ends up going in this area and it gets trapped in that corner. So we'll take the rock out of the way. If you hit one a little bit too fast and a little bit too far to the right, it'll hit those bricks, and then you see how it'll kick it down there and go into the corner. I got lucky that time and it actually hit the bricks and it pushed it out. It hit the rocks and pushed it out. So even just being a little bit too firm, it'll clip those bricks, and then watch what happens here. See how much it kills the speed. Now, I got lucky on those that they didn't get trapped into the corner. But a lot of times what happens is the ball gets trapped right down there. All right, so if the ball comes down the hill, those ones are missing. But if it gets the wrong roll, you can see how the ball wants to just, it's like a magnet. It takes it down in there. And if your ball ends up down in there, you have quite a difficult chance for it too. So we're going to try to get a decent camera angle here. It's actually quite difficult to get the right camera angle on this shot. Okay, if your ball gets trapped in the corner, meaning the ball ends up down in this corner here, okay? After you get your spacing, my foot's about the spacing of a scorecard. Your ball ends up in this area here. This putt is so difficult to make because, number one, this all breaks to the right, okay? So if I were to try to play straight at the hole, and it's very fast, you can see how that just continues to break off to the right. If you try to play the slope, you have to come so close to the bricks on the left like that, and then it stays straight. That's why it's such a very, very difficult putt. If you get your ball trapped in that corner, it is very, very hard to make that shot. So that's why this hole is very important for you to practice. You come here, especially if you're playing in a tournament. This is one of the holes you want to definitely practice on. Get your speed and get your feel right. Hole number 5 is a beast. And making a par on 5 is a fantastic score. Same thing with this hole, 6. Very innocent looking hole. Starting the ball from the right side. You use the slope here to go around the corner. The ball comes around the lake, tracks down the fairway, and it ends up somewhere around the hole. The reason why this hole is so treacherous is the par putts from around the hole, very rarely are they actually straight. And if you try to play break, then the ball doesn't break. So I will demonstrate how to play lane number 6. Okay, so lane number 6. There's a couple keys here. If I roll a ball out here and it stays up against the wall like this, and it ends up just kind of circling around the back, the putt's not that bad. It's inside the hole, but it can break one way or the other. However, if you use the bank a little bit, the ball kicks around and you end up over in this area. These putts are quite difficult. It can go left or right. So you're trying to get your ball to lay up somewhere directly behind the hole. Those are the ones that are the straightest putts. I have aced this hole one time ever in my life. The ball came down, it hit this gap right there, and it kicked the ball straight into the hole. Other than that, I've never hardly even ever come close to making it. I've hit the hole a couple times, I've slammed into the pin a couple of times, but this is not one you're trying to make. If after 3 years of playing this course, I've only made it once ever, I've just decided that it's just not gonna happen. So he's teeing up from the very far right side. You want to give this ball some pace, and then just hit it into the water. You don't really want to hit it into the water, but you don't want to hit the bricks either. That's the key to this one, is you're going to hit the bricks back past the pin, but not before the pin. All right, so you're teeing it up from the far right side, getting it kind of close to the bricks on the left, using the slope to get it back towards the right, and hit the pin and goes in. Look at that. Wow. That's only the second time in my life I've ever made the shot. Thank you, pin, for being in there. Up the slope, get the ball going towards the pin, hit the bricks in the back, and get it kicking out like that. That's a really good shot. I made the first one, but generally you're trying to get the ball to go just past the pin, here or here. Because when you get the ball tracking, in a decent speed, and you hit that one, hit the crack, but you can see it wants to bounce back towards the hole. All right, so you get one decent speed going back past the pin, hits the bricks, and it comes back. All right, so I got lucky and made the first one, which is only the second time in 3 years I've ever made the shot, with the pin being in though. But that's the gist of it, is if your ball ends up over here or over here, the ball just wants to kind of just zigzag around. So I made those two look pretty easy, but it's not. So you want to survive 5, 6, and then the next one as well, hole 7. If you can survive the first 7 holes in even par or better, you are doing fantastic. A nice break from the water and rough, lucky 7. This hole is incredibly difficult to even get the ball close to the hole on your first shot. It looks very innocent, but there's a couple key features out here that I will explain. There's a large slope to the left, when I toss the ball out there, right, you can see how that ball kind of goes down, works down the slope. And even that one's all the way up against the back rail. And that was actually a good toss. If you could figure out a way to use the slope on the left to get the ball to go around, you can see that ball's tracking out. The problem is the tee position doesn't allow you to do it. It's too close. You need to be farther to the right. So I'm going to demonstrate a couple ways to play the shot. I'm going to show you a safe way to get the ball down around the hole so it ends up in this area and you still have a 6-foot putt for a par that breaks a couple different ways. Or you can play a high risk, high reward shot where you have a chance to ace it, but you also have a realistic chance to make it too. Okay, so hole 7, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to play the shot and what happens if you play the high risk, high reward shot if you get unlucky, and what to do to try to still manage to make a par. Both shots are playing from the right side of the tee. So the safe way to play the shot using the gold ball is you're aiming just pretty much anywhere out here, anywhere out in this area. Just get the ball gently down there. It's going to ride around the bricks and it's going to stop somewhere behind the hole and you have a chance to make a par. Basically playing both shots from the same area. Well, starting from the same area. So let's get the ball out there. There's no way for you to stop it short. Sometimes you can get lucky and you can catch one of the points of the bricks and it will kick it towards the hole. But that's generally where you're going to end up. Now the other shot is trying to use that slope on the left. And the only way that you can get there is by using this section of bricks. And the reason why it's risky is because you can catch the crack of the brick or the point of the brick and it doesn't give you the correct bounce. So you're starting from the right side. And that's what happens is you can catch the point of the brick and the ball ends up in here. All right, so the ball ends up against here. So after you get your spacing, this one's actually quite more difficult to make. So you're going to play the ball out to the left and just try to get the ball somewhere down there so you can try to make a 3. That was really unlucky that the ball ended up there. It usually doesn't end up there. But from shots from back here, this putt can go either way. It's very, very difficult. So that one went to the right. But if I play another ball from the same spot and I aim left, it stays left. That's why this hole is very difficult, because there's all these little spines and ridges around. It's quite difficult just to even get the ball close. So I like playing the shot where I'm going off the bricks. Unless you get really, really unlucky, you still have a chance to make it 2. So off the slope, just like this, and get the ball tracking down towards the hole. That'll get you slow. That'll get you pretty close. You can get even closer than that. Using the slope, go in. All right, so there you go. So that's generally what can happen when you use the bricks on the right. You get up here on the slope, and you can get the ball down towards the hole, and then these putts are basically straight in. So that's why you want to try to get your ball in these areas instead of being back in there. Now, every once in a while, when your ball hits the crack, I'm actually going to show you a little different angle here. All right, so I'll just do one where the pin's right there. Okay. And one second. Okay, so playing the shot off the bricks, usually when the ball hits the crack, the ball ends up there or here because it wants to just track down here. After you take your spacing, it's really not that bad. I'm aiming up into the corner here to get the ball to use the slope to try to save my par. Up into the slope. I was a little bit too far into the slope. You can see you can get the ball close. Trying to use the channel, just like that. Trying to use the channel to get the ball close to the hole so you can still at least save a 3. It does go in every once in a while from the tee shot to make an ace, but generally you can end up around the hole. But that's the gist of how to play hole number 7 here at Hole-in-One Family Fun. Now we're moving into the fun part of the course, lanes 8 through 17. Lane 8, hole is straight ahead, keep it to the right for a good chance for birdie. When I say keep it to the right, they mean keeping it all the way to the right. All the way to the right up there. The ball's gonna make a left turn. You have to get it all the way up on the slope, like this. And that ball's gonna, see how that ball starts to turn to the left. That's the key to the shot. Is it's gonna be difficult here with the shadow, but I'm gonna try to demonstrate the shot for you. You can start from the right side of the tee, using this middle of this slope right here to go up, and then the ball turns to the left. All right, I'm gonna try to demonstrate the shot for you. This is another good skill hole. There's quite a few little twigs and branches out here from the shrub, so it could influence the roll of the ball a little bit. Then I'll try to hit the best ones I can. So you're starting from the right side of the tee this time. About 1 putter from the right side. And basically you're just hitting it right down the line of the bricks. With a nice smooth pace. Nice and smooth. Kind of like this. Nice and smooth. 2 more rolls. Ah, that was right on it. Just a nice smooth pace. That was a little bit too fast. That's what happens if you just hit one a little bit too fast, they go all the way back to the rail. It's a very speed sensitive shot. You can see a difference between one that was really well hit and one that was just a little bit too fast. These putts break from right to left from back here, so it's not too bad. Oh, a little bit too much. But that's basically the gist of how to play lane 8. Go a little bit too fast, come down here, putts from back here, but just use the slope there on the right of the lane, get the ball turning back towards the left, back towards the hole, and you can make an ace on lane 8. All right, here we are, lane 9. Not much trouble on this one, avoid the rocks for a good score. There is not that much trouble. Getting it through the rocks isn't the problem. The problem is the pace. It's slightly uphill, and it breaks from right to left a little bit. Keeping the ball around the pin is the challenging part on this one. Now we'll demonstrate the shot for you. Okay, so lane 9, or hole 9. This is also all about the speed. Can make it. Just want to keep it close. 1 shoe from the right bricks is my preferred teeing area. We'll hit the gold one first. I'm actually aiming very close to the edge of this rock. The ball's just going to turn to the left and track up there. This one's all about the pace. If it goes in, great. There's a little bit of a mounding around the hole. Sometimes you can hit a great shot and it just doesn't accept it. Ball should start turning left. That one's going to straighten out a little bit. That's a good shot. You can see how that ball started to turn left and go towards the hole, but then it straightened out. Oh, that was a little bit too fast. But that one kept turning. That was a little bit too fast. That one kept turning to the left. Putts from back here are generally pretty good, pretty straight when you get in this area. Oops. I pulled that one bad. That was my fault. Pretty straight. Putts from over here. These are also not too terrible. But there's some mounding around the hole. That one prevented that one from going in. When I'm talking about mounding, if you watch very closely here, you can see how that ball starts to turn away from the hole. See how that just made just a right-hand turn? There's some mounding around it. So if your ball ends up getting over in these areas where this ridge comes into play, it can actually be quite difficult to make the putt, even from this distance. That one went in because I rolled it right over the ridge. But there's little areas over here where it can go either way, and it's quite maddening. So that one took off to the left. That one started to snap over to the left as well. But that's the gist of how to play lane number 9. All right, here's lane 10. Nothing friendly about this one. Hazards are everywhere. There is a way, and there is a way. Teeing areas here. So this one is a 90-degree dog leg to the left, up the hill, around the bunker or through the bunker, and the hole sits back into this area. The shot that I've found works the best is actually going through the bunker. You have every so slightly of a chance to actually make an ace. You can go all the way around the bunker, but then you bring the water in the back in play because of how hard you have to hit it. So, I'll demonstrate the shot for you. All right, so here's lane 10. The ball's never really going to come up out here into the rough. Starting as close as you can to the right bricks. And you're basically aiming at the edge of this bunker. The green is going to continue to move the ball towards the left. Rolling it through the bunker with the pace that it just barely gets out the other side. It's going to hit those bricks, kick it out to the right. It's going to just keep on trickling and trickling and trickling down there. That's actually quite an unlucky result for it to be that far away. You can go a little firmer, a little bit firmer through there. The ball's going to roll out. It's going to end up down in the bricks down there, and those putts are generally pretty straight. This one's actually quite unlucky to end up here. Normally when the ball hits the bricks, it'll just try to track down and end up very, very close to the hole. So these putts are all generally very straight. Take your spacing. All right, that's a little bit of the gist to play lane 10. I'm going to show you the other way to play it, which is going around the bunker. But you really don't get any better result. You start all the way from the left and you're actually standing into the gravel and you're aiming way up into the bricks. You're sending the ball way out to the right. It's going to come around, catch the slope. It's going to go racing past the hole. And that can happen for you. However, you can catch the crack in the brick and it can send it either way, so there is some element of risk involved. Trying to send the ball all the way up there as far as I can. Come track down. Hits the bricks. So if you want the ball to end up a little bit closer to the hole, you can try that. It's never going to go in, but you can get the ball. Sometimes you can get the ball closer if you get a great bounce going around the bunker instead of going through the bunker. But your balls can generally end up in the same place going through the bunker, but then you actually have a chance to make it still because it's not going so fast. So that's the gist of how to play hole number 10 here at Hole in One Family Fun. Moving on to hole number 11. All right, lane 11. A good healthy first shot is the key to this one. Watch out for the rough. The only rough on this hole is right there. This one is all uphill the first half and then downhill for the second half. So you're going straight up the hill. You're using the curve here. You want to go about 3/4 of the way up that curve. The ball will make basically a U-turn, come back down towards the hole. I'll demonstrate the shot. All right, so this one, this pine tree is a little bit of a nuisance to try to get a great camera angle. Try to do the best we can. So starting from the right side of the tee as far as you can without your putter hitting the bricks. I want my ball to go about 3/4 of the way up that slope. Now it might be a little bit too soft. See how the ball starts to track down back towards the hole. I was a little bit too soft. Same thing, that one's just a little bit too soft. You can see how those balls are rolling out there towards the hole. Getting the ball that close is generally okay. These putts from here break a little bit to the left. Getting the ball up there that's getting it that close within 2 or 3 feet is generally okay. One of the issues is this carpet, like I said in the past, it doesn't really roll that great. The harder you hit it, the more of a tendency it has to start bouncing. And once it starts bouncing and you lose control of it, you just don't know what's going to happen. I'm trying to hit one that's a little bit harder. That one's just a little bit harder. You can see how that ball's tracking out towards the hole. Let's try to make this one. Up towards the bricks. Come on, ball. Sweet, just like that. So you want to get the ball, like I said, maybe a little bit more than 3/4 of the way up the hill. So that ball came up pretty close to the bricks. You can track out, and that's how you can ace hole number 11 here at Hole in One Family Fun. All right, lane number 12, or hole number 12. One of our easier holes. Be sure to make it up the slope for an easy par. I disagree. This is not one of the easier holes. So you're going to go up the hill in the beginning. Once you crest the hill, there's hardly any way to stop the ball to getting it close to the hole. The ball's almost always going to go back to the bricks. The key to the shot is right there. If you can get the ball, if I toss the ball out there, get it hitting that brick like that, you actually have a chance to make it and or keep it close. So this one's all about the speed. All right, it's difficult to get the right camera angle, but I want to show you from the back side of the hole. The key to this shot is the speed coming up the hill, using these bricks right here to slow the ball down. I need to fix these bricks a little bit here. They've come loose recently. All right, you're starting from about 1 putter from the right side. This is all about the speed. Get the ball cresting over the hill. It's a little bit too firm, but even if it hits a crack, it'll generally track out down towards the hole, and you have a very easy putt to make a par. That's the reason why I play that shot, because even if you get a little bit unlucky and you catch the crack of the brick, you're using the hill to help you slow the ball down. So I'm hitting those balls a little bit too far off to the left. You can see how I just kissed it off that brick, and the ball ended up very close to the hole for both of these to make an easy par. I'm gonna hit 2 more to see if I can get a little better shot. So I can show you what happens if you just get it, the ball just barely kissing up here, kissing it down here. You have a chance to make it. That's the correct speed and line of the shot. I'm starting my ball a little bit too far to the left. Something like that. Something like that. Oh, and I missed a little elbow there. But you can see it's still close to the hole with the right speed, using the bricks to help slow it down. So that one's even slower, but if you watch what happens here, the slope just keeps the ball rolling and rolling and rolling towards the hole. So just basically getting it past this point, you have a really good chance of at least the ball ending up just like, whoops, just a couple feet away here for you to make an easy par. And that's the gist of how to play hole number 12 here at Hole in One Family Fun. Here we are in 13. Avoid a careless first shot for an easy par. This is one of the better aces on the course. 3/4 of the way uphill, and it flattens out and goes slightly downhill. Now you have this sloping on the right. You're going to use this to get the ball to slope down towards the hole like this. So you want to start from the right side of the tee, using this slope to get the ball to break to the left and go towards the pin. I'm going to demonstrate the shot for you. All right, so hole 1, 8, and 13 are the 3 best chances to make aces in the beginning of the course. All right, so I'm starting 1 shoe from the right bricks. My aim point is right up in here. Okay, so I want the ball coming through the slope right in this area. It's going to make a left turn, and the ball's just going to straighten out and track towards the hole. A little bit of wind, pushing from left to right. Push the ball to the left. I hit it hard enough. Come on, ball. Ah! This didn't quite hit that one hard enough. Ball turning left. Just like that. This one you have an excellent chance. This is what I would call this a coin flip hole. You hit the ball on the right line with the right speed, it's going to go in 50% of the time, 50-50. Hit the right ball, hit the ball on the right line with the right speed, it's going to go in half the time. The carpet just doesn't allow you to go in every time. That's the gist of how to play lane 13. All right, 14. Looks harder than it actually is. Around the waterfall, a sharp dogleg left with a good chance to get one back. They call this a par 3. This really should be a par 2. It's not nearly as hard as it looks. All right. So right around the waterfall. There's the waterfall. The ball's going to go around the slope, using the slope here, aiming basically at the right edge of this bench. Up the slope, around the corner, down the hill, and towards the pin for an ace. Here's one that's difficult to capture the entirety of it on camera, so we're just going to go from behind the hole. See, if we try the camera angle from here, what ends up happening is it's just too much to capture. Even if we try to move this all the way back here, it's too much to capture. So let's just bring this all the way to the end of the lane so you can see the ending of the ball roll out. And I can explain a little bit better. Okay, so here we are from behind the cup. The keys that I want you to watch for are, the first thing is when the ball comes up the slope here, starting from the right side of the tee as far as close as you can, when the ball's going to come up this hill, no higher than pretty much about here. If you get too high, the ball ends up going into these bricks. If you get it soft, it's fine, but the ball just ends up rolling out down here and it's fine. The ball will end up somewhere around close to the hole, or somewhere within the vicinity of the hole. The right speed, the ball goes up about this high. It's going to come out, it's going to kind of come close to these bricks. You're going to see the ball run out right somewhere in this area. It's going to come out here. If you watch the ending of this, this is why. The ball's going to take off to the right, just like that, and you actually have a chance to make an ace on this hole. But even the shots from back here, once you get your spacing, right? Once you get your spacing, it's only, what, 3 feet? 1, 2. It's barely more than 3 feet, and they're all very straight. So It's really not too much risk in the shot, I guess, unless you just hit it way too hard. But the general idea is just getting it somewhere around the hole. So starting from the right side of the tee as far as you can to the right without your putter hitting the bricks on your swing, aiming at the right side of that bench, and just send it on its way. That one's going a little fast. It might catch the slope. Go in, baby. Just like that. Just like that. Right side of the bench, off the hill, come down through. That's basically what you want to do. If you end up hitting the bricks, it's not total death, but it's going to be really hard for you to make a 2. Because what ends up happening is, if you go a little bit too fast up here, and the ball hits the bricks like that, it'll kill the speed, but the ball ends up down in that area. So I hit one a little bit further. So that's the death sentence. If you go all the way up and you hit the bricks, and your ball ends up here, I've never even practiced this shot. I don't even know what to do. I would actually probably try to use the slope on the right to get the ball to the left. Okay, I didn't go far enough to the right. But at least I can make a 3 from there. But the putts from back here can be kind of tricky because it's just a little bit of a low area. Yeah, and the ball just kind of wants to wiggle around. But that's the gist of lane 14, hole 14 here at Hole-in-One Family Fun in Lafayette. All right, lane 15 or hole 15. Watch your power. Use caution on your first shot to avoid the water past the cup. How true it is. Putt is ever so slightly uphill and it breaks from left to right. And there's a big rock out here that kind of guards going straight at the cup. The pin's laying down on this one, but you can see there's an opening there in the rough and the water. And if you just go any more than 3 paces past the cup, you're going into the water. It's all downhill. All right, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 3 paces. That's the max your ball can go. If it goes any farther than that, well, maybe 3.5 paces, it's gone. And it's going in the water. And the wind is pushing straight at our backs this time. So the key to this hole is you can see this kind of like curvature here. If I toss the ball out there, you can see how that ball wants to use that curvature, right? But you can't get to that from the tee, but you're using the edge of that as the aim point. From the tee, you're teeing the ball up from the right, using that as the aim point. I'm gonna demonstrate the shot for you. So as I've said, we've got a tremendous tailwind here. So the speed on this shot is gonna be so important to keep the ball just in bounds. So this is about 1/2 of a shoe off of the right bricks. And I'm aiming at that edge of that curved piece that I showed you earlier. Ball out, the ball's gonna track to the right, just like that. If you hit one a little bit too hard, it's going in the water. Out the ball to the right. Now watch, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Is that too fast? Ooh, it stopped. I'm so lucky that ball stopped. That wasn't that much different than the first ball. The wind caught it. So this one, I still had maybe about 6 or 7 inches left. That's how dangerous it was from going out of bounds. And the putts from here aren't too bad. Pretty much straight in. Oh, I hit a little rock here. And the putts from these areas, just keep the ball inside the hole. I guess I'm just not going to make it at all today. Oh well. Really not that bad. But that's the gist of how to play hole 15 here at Hole in One Family Fun Lafayette. All right, 16. A fairly easy hole if you can keep right. The key word being if. Well, there's your hazard. A little bit of danger here as well. Using the ridge. You want the ball to go maybe about halfway up the ridge. It's going to take a left-hand turn and track down towards the hole this way. This is another one that's difficult to get the camera angle by myself. I'm going to demonstrate the shot for you. All right, so this is about the best I can do to show you the most of the lane as I can. Starting from the right side of the tee, you're going to see the ball enter your screen on the left. It's going to go part way up the little hill and track down towards the pin. Kind of like this. Oh, and that one just missed on the left side. Hitting those a little bit too hard, or going a little too high up the hill. And that one also just missed on the left side as well. Let's do a secondary camera angle from behind the cup. All right, so here's our secondary camera angle from behind the cup. So here's where the first two balls ended up. Really good shots, just a little bit too hard for the ace. And these putts just break a little bit from right to left. Let's try to hit two more good ones for you so you can see what happens when the ball comes down through here. My ball was just going up too high. It should go up about here, track down towards the hole. And you're going to see how when the ball comes off of the slope, the ball's actually going to be breaking to your left or my right. So the ball should be going kind of at the left edge of the cup, or maybe even slightly outside the left edge of the cup. And it will just kind of gradually go back to the right and hopefully go in. Now let's see how this one does. You see how that ball starts to fade off to my right or your left. Just not quite. But that's the gist of how to play lane 16 or hole 16 here at Hole in One Family Fun in Lafayette. Let's get the ball somewhere around the hole. All of these putts from back here, if you get on this side of the hole, it's even easier because they're straight. So putts from back here are very straight. But the farther over here you get, the more the ball wants to go to the left. Let's get you a good angle here so you can see. So the farther over here you get, the more the ball wants to go to the left. So I'll try to aim one straight at the hole. See how that ball just immediately goes left. See how that ridge comes into play there? So you want to keep the ball around this area. And that is hole 16 at Hole in One Family Fun. All right, I'm moving on to 17. Use caution if you decide to go to the left, a great chance for par. This hole drives me crazy because you can hit the hole almost every time, but actually getting it to stay in is the problem. It's going too fast and there's mounding around the hole. You never want to go to the left here. You always want to go to the right. You do not have to hit this ball very hard at all. I'm going to keep the camera here and demonstrate just how softly you can hit this shot. Right, all the way to the right side, and just watch how how softly I hit this ball. That was a little bit too soft. That one actually stopped. I don't have to hit it much harder than that. So there you go. And it just takes off. Runs down the slope, past the hole, off the bricks. And that one actually might have been a little bit too fast. So there you go. Here's a good example, right? So let's follow it. Straight in? Ah, that's what I'm talking about. We can hit the hole a lot, just getting the ball to actually go in. So I'm going to demonstrate the actual shot for you. All right, here we are. Behind the cup on 17. Get a couple of these rocks out of the way here. So when you see the ball come down this slope, you're going to see the ball go out this way, and then it catches a ridge and it slings it back towards the cup. Without the pin being in, the ball must go 100% dead center or it never goes in. It will bounce out every time. There's mounding around the hole. It will not go in. So starting from the very far right of the tee, and literally just get the ball started. Just get it started. It hit the dead center of the pin and went in. So here goes the second one. Come down the slope. And that one just took off a little bit to the left and it just missed the hole. It's like I said, there's mounding all around that. It really wasn't that much different between those two shots. One hit the dead center of the pin and went in, and the other one didn't. The putts from back around this area aren't too bad. They're generally pretty straight. But that is the gist of how to play lane or hole 17. You do not ever, for any reason, want to go up to the left. The ball never has a chance to go in. The ball just always ends up around there. It's just useless. Finally, hole 18. A great finishing hole. Hit it hard enough to carry the rough on the left and finish with a par. Definitely true. So here's the bunker left on the left, and then there's a big slope here on the right. If you don't hit it hard enough, well, that one hit the bricks. If you don't hit it hard enough, it goes up that slope and it'll just go straight down into the rough. So you have to use the slope on the right, get the ball to race past the pin. Using these bricks around this pine tree, you want the ball to kind of pinball around in this corner and hopefully it can come back and go towards the hole. It's a very difficult shot. It's the only hole in the course that I don't like, just simply because you have to kind of pinball the shot around and you're just hitting and hoping. But I'm gonna try to demonstrate a good shot for you. Okay, so camera angle's over here because I want you to see what happens when the ball starts to kind of pinball its way around these rocks. Something really good can happen. It can go in occasionally. Nothing really terrible happens. You always have a chance to make it two. It just depends on where you end up. Is basically the likelihood of you actually making a par or not. There's no way for you to stand far enough left to keep the ball on the line without you hitting the bricks or something somewhere. You have to use the bricks or you have to use the rocks. If you hit a good shot with good speed, so that's basically what ends up happening. If you hit a good shot with good speed, sometimes really good things can happen. You really want the ball pinballing around on the rocks on the left. You really want, there you go. That's going to give you the best chance to have, now see, there's two completely random results. This is one of the challenges of these courses, is that there's two shots, nothing wrong with either one, and have two completely different results. And both of these putts are quite difficult to make a par on. Got that one. Oh, I got both of those, so those weren't too bad. I just guessed. This one I had a little bit more familiar with, but the other one I did not. But sometimes your ball can just kind of pinball around. If I roll a couple balls out here, sometimes your ball can come out here, pinball around. You can get a great result like that. You know, or your ball can just completely die and you end up back there. So it's just, unfortunately, that's the only one of the holes that has a true pinball kind of feel to it. It sucks that it's the last hole. But that's hole-in-one family fun here in Lafayette, Indiana. This is the course that I train on. I definitely recommend, if you're ever in this area or passing between Indianapolis and Chicago, to come check the course out. You know, a little support for the locals here. And it's a great facility. I hope they continue on doing business here. We have another indoor miniature golf facility opening up sometime soon called Malibu Jacks. And that'll probably be my next video. But once again, this is Mini Golf Frank. Thanks for everybody for watching. Happy 4th of July for those of you in America. And have a great day.